So I wanted to take a little time to just talk about Mr. Hogan as a person and as an influence, because he really is the man when it comes to golf. I'm obviously a huge fan of Jack Nicklaus. I think Jack, as a player, is the greatest that ever lived. But as an overall golfer, there's a mystique about Ben Hogan that's just undeniable when you get into the story. It was about 20 years ago when I came back to the game of golf after giving up for 4 years. And it was Ben Hogan that inspired me, right from the get-go. My friend George had 5 lessons. I'd never really been able to take a real good look at it. And so he showed me 5 lessons, was helping me with my golf game. And I wanted to play golf again. That same year, 1997, I also got Kurt Sampson's book, Hogan. And I didn't know all the stories about the car wreck and everything else. And, when you just look at the swing, it's just so amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. And, there's a reason why everybody tries to imitate him, I certainly have. And it's been one of the most enjoyable pursuits of my entire life. And, lots of ups and downs, but anything worth doing, it's going to take time and there's going to be frustrations, and, hard things are the best things to do. When you look at Mr. Hogan, there's just a style about him. One of the things I really appreciate about Mr. Hogan's fashion is he was from a time when there weren't logos all over the place. It was about the drape of the cloth and the way that he wore those clothes. He was just unlike anybody else. This picture is just amazing to me. I really wish I was a fly on the wall and I could hear what he's talking to Mr. Picard about his grip right here. I wonder if this is when he started to make his grip a little bit weaker. Not really sure. But, here we can see how he's really beginning to supinate at this point. That club is pretty open, and then he just shuts it down when he gets to this point where his right knee is driving. This is Mr. Hogan with Donald Ross. I'd say this is likely, is this 1942? But what a wonderful photograph. This is a picture of Mr. Hogan after the LA Open. I believe this is when he came in second place in the playoff with Sam Snead not long after the accident. This is only 16 months after he almost died. He's just such a tough guy. Just stuck with it, And when I look at these pictures, the long backswing, the lag, the lower body drive, and that crazy last panel, the 6th panel, my goodness, he's got that club is just like slinging off of his body. Here we can see the hip depth. He really turns around that right foot as a post. If I drew a line down from his rear behind him, you can see that, he really gets deep. And that's the biggest thing that I probably have learned, is that I have to have more hip depth in my golf swing. This is just the classic. He's got the Izod Lacoste shirt, the white hat, the cup at the top of the wrist. Look how open that club face is. I read a really interesting article about his grip the other day, and by my main man Wayne DeFrancisco, who I think is so brilliant. But he did not talk about the rib and how, even though his grip may look weak, that club face was wide open at address. Here we can see Mr. Hogan at Augusta. Just one of the best swings. Notice his knee drive again, his right knee drive through the ball. Yeah, that's what he felt, turned his hips right at the last second. Really, really cool thing. This is probably my favorite picture of Ben Hogan. I just love the left hand. The left hand is the thing that I find so remarkable about this picture, because you know, he said that, you know, my left hand grip is definitely a palm grip. This is what I've talked about when I described the super lock. It just feels like, or looks like, he's just going to hit it with the back of that left hand. And he's, you know, fully getting over to that left side. And I always love how his pant legs look at this point, where it's like the cloth of his pant legs are flying off. It's so cool. Yeah, here we can see his club face angle, how it's wide open as he's coming into Shangri-La, and then that face gets turned down. And you know, it's my suspicion that this is that kind of trapping action that gave him that unique sound. He just had that extra little gear with that supination. You know, that's really something I encourage people to mess around with. I think it's a fun thing to fool around with. I've still got a long way to go with it, but I think that this picture really shows it. I mean, he made it a point to show how he uses that left hand through impact. You know, here we can see it again. You know, that super lock, looks like that club is pretty high in that left palm. He's just gonna, you know, trap the living daylights out of this golf ball. I think this picture of Mr. Hogan's grip is really interesting. The way that it runs diagonally across that palm. Again, it's like there's one line, you know, it makes from this elbow all the way up through the club head. It's just like one unit with a hinge. This is again one of those fantastic pictures with that left-hand grip that I like so much. And yeah, so Ben Hogan is the man. I'm so thankful that I discovered his life and his work and his golf swing. It served as a great inspiration for me. I feel like the luckiest golfer in the world with everything that's happened. You know, I've got a new film out called Mr. Hogan. I'm really proud of it. You know, I've worked many years on this. I mean, shoot, it's 7 years of research, you know, years of filming. But I'm the one that's blessed. I'm the one that's blessed that I discovered the life and work of Ben Hogan. And I'm, you know, every day I'm just honored to be able to tell other folks about it, share it through my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for all the support. I hope you hit them long and hit them straight. And here's a little sneak peek of my film, Mr. Hogan.
It's hard to describe the sound when Mr. Hogan hit a shot.
He had this tenacity about him. It's really the stuff legends are made of.
He was like Michelangelo and Da Vinci. You know, he was an artist with a golf club.
This is Ben Hogan's locker right here, number 50.
He caddied for my dad. That was the beginning of their relationship.
Suffering produces endurance. Endurance produces character.
He knew what was going to happen, and there wasn't anything he could do about it.
Why he actually decided at that point in time to share what he told me, I have no idea.
What I think he did was he applied physics better than everybody else.
Ben Hogan never watched Jack Nicklaus practice, but Jack Nicklaus watched Ben Hogan practice.
People say Hogan won't ever talk to you. Well, Hogan talked to me a lot.